In today's behavior chat, we're going to be talking about dogs who like to chase cars. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining me again today. I'm Tanya Wilhelm, and today we're going to talk about dogs who like to chase cars or any fast-moving object. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you can click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Whenever you're trying to address a behavioral problem with your dog, one of the first things that we want to do is make sure you're meeting their daily needs and teaching them some good impulse control games. So if you haven't checked out my 7 things every dog should be getting each day, or teaching your dog impulse control, the video links will be in the description below. So go ahead and head on over there now and then come back to this video. So chasing things is actually a really normal doggy behavior. We utilize it when we're doing things like teaching our dog to come when called, or getting them excited to be with us, or playing fetch, chasing a toy on a string. These are all chase behaviors. Sometimes people think only working dogs like to chase things, or sight hounds, and boy are they wrong. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Most dogs get really excited when they see things moving. If you have a new dog or a new puppy, this is a great time to be proactive and prevent your dog from wanting to chase everything that moves quickly. Once you've started impulse control games and you're meeting your dog's 7 daily needs, the next thing to think about is this chasing behavior. What you'll want to do is you'll want to make a little checklist at all your dog's triggers. And be very specific. What does your dog chase? Skateboards, cars, bikes, joggers? Then, next to each item, write down how far away you and your dog need to be for your dog not to be overstimulated by this. Is it 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet? Because this is going to be the starting point at reconditioning and teaching your dog not to chase those things. Yes, you're going to have to do a little training. Yes, you're going to have to do a little management. And yes, you're going to have to be prepared. I think one of the hardest things for people to understand is that patience is key. Especially when we want to teach our dog to be patient and to be calm. We have to have those skills too. If we're trying to rush through everything and I want this behavior fixed now, you're unlikely to achieve success, at least long-term success. But that doesn't mean that it's going to have to take a million years to get there either. But the fact is, if you're not putting in the work and you're not practicing good management skills, you're not going to have success. I can't change that. Learning's learning. If we wanted to learn a new sport or a new game, if we're not able to take lessons and practice outside of those lessons, we're not going to be very good at it either. And some things are harder than others. Even when we're trying really hard at a new sport, some things are going to be a little more challenging than other things. It's the same thing with your dog. Then you got 2 scenarios. Your dog's learning and you're learning at the same time. That's extra trouble. That makes it even more difficult. So give yourself and your dog a little break and breathe. The next thing you're going to want is something that your dog finds irresistible. During these types of training sessions, food really tends to lend itself well because you're able to give that to your dog quickly and at that location versus trying to lob a ball across the room. But you know your dog best. You want to make sure that it's something that your dog finds valuable. Not that boring biscuit that he gets in the living room, but something extra special. You may even reserve these extra special goodies for these types of training sessions. But that said, don't make it the same goodie all the time because that will get boring too. Think more of trail mix. I have dehydrated rabbit, cooked turkey, maybe even a little bite of steak. And when I say steak, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't feed my dog steak. 1 little cube of cooked steak can actually be sliced up super thin and give you lots of tasty, healthy rewards. So that might be something to think about. Real meat, cooked up, sliced thinly, tends to actually be less expensive than store-bought, high-value, healthy snacks. Just something to think about. Next, think about your dog's walking equipment. You may know I'm a harness girl. I recommend walking a dog on a harness. I don't think having a leash attached to a collar is a very healthy and safe thing for our dogs. One little pull and we can cause major damage in our dog's throat, trachea, spine, and neck. For most dogs, I do like to have a harness that has a clip in the front and a clip in the back. This allows 3 options. I can either attach my dog's leash to the front, to the back, or if I have a double leash, front and back. And the front and back will actually give you more control over your dog. A leash attached to the front means that you can turn your dog around and change direction easier than one attached to the back. However, the one attached to the back allows your dog great sniffing opportunities. So something that you can use in different situations. I will put a link in the description below to one of the harnesses that I tend to like for most of my dog training clients. Next, that leash. This is definitely not a time to have an extendy type of leash. I don't like those leashes anyway. A 6-foot leash is my go-to leash for most dogs. That gives me opportunity to allow my dog some freedom to go sniff and go potty, and it's still short enough to bring that attention back to me. So let's just recap. You're working on your 7 daily needs for your dog. You've been working on impulse control games. You have high value rewards. You have a proper harness and a proper leash. And you know your dog's triggers and how far away from those triggers he needs to be successful. That's a lot already, and you haven't even gone for your walk yet. So now you're going to think about, where am I going to go with my dog that I can see these triggers at the distance my dog needs to be successful. That may or may not be your front yard. You might actually need to put your dog in the car and take him to a different location, a place that's a little quieter, has a little more space. Sometimes parks are a great option for this. Not that you're going to go in the main parking lot, right where everything's going on, but maybe there's the outside of the park. And that can be a little challenging trying to decide on where you're going to go. So you might do a little scout work prior to loading up your dog. And it may be your front yard. It may be that you actually just hang out in your front yard and let life kind of pass you by. When working with triggers like this, I do like trying to find a location that my dog and I can just kind of hang out, sit around, maybe walk around a little bit, kind of in a location that those things pass us. You might be able to find something like this at a park. Where's the parking lot? Where can you sit? Where can you sit with your dog? Maybe a shopping center where you can park your car at such a location that traffic goes by, but they're not speeding by 100 miles an hour. They're maybe going 15, 20 miles an hour down the road. So set up shop there. You want to be careful, obviously. You want to make sure that you're out of the way, you're not going to injure yourself, and you're not going to overwhelm your dog. So wherever your location, the next thing is, let's talk about training. Remember, we're going to work on teaching our dog that whatever that trigger was, fast car, bike, skateboard, now doesn't elicit excitement or fear or anxiety, whatever the reason was. Now that trigger means you're going to give them a reward. And over time, what you'll see is that trigger will present itself and your dog's going to start looking at you like, where's the reward? And that's your dog starting to get it. And that's what we want. So you're in your dog's safe spot. And you're ready, and you might just be hanging out, letting him kind of sniff around. Don't make him do a sit, stay, or stare at you. Just let him be a dog and hang out. You can throw in some obedience and some watch here and there, but we don't want a totally focused dog. We want to be able to kind of let them be. Because in real life, when you're going for that walk, yes, you're going to be working on training and asking for attention, some other things, but it's not 100% of the time. You're going to still let him kind of walk and hang out. So we want him to be able to not react when those random cars come by. That's the end goal. So as you guys are hanging out, you're keeping an eye, you're waiting, you're looking for all those triggers, cars, bikes, whatever it is that's a trigger for your dog. So your dog's sniffing the ground, you see the car down the street heading your way. You want to be ready. You want to go, all right, I want my dog to see that and get his reward. So you might kind of turn your dog around, walk around so that he kind of sees that trigger. Remember, your dog's not responding right now. You're at that distance where he's comfortable about it. So he sees it and he's not going to react. So he sees it and you go, yes, and give him some treats. And, oh, that's a good boy, aren't you so smart? And you can go back to your sniffing. And then you can repeat the next car that comes by. Again, let your dog kind of see it and go, oh, yes, good job, aren't you so handsome? And the same goes if you're going for a walk. If your dog can tolerate seeing cars in the neighborhood or in your front yard, same thing. He sees the car, yes, good job, aren't you so smart? And you can also add extra distance, so he sees the car, he gets a reward, and you move away. So you and your dog are here, here's the car. This is the good spot to get rewarded. He gets his reward, how smart he is. But now that the car is going to come this way, he's going to get closer. And if your dog can't tolerate it, you're going to need to move your dog before that happens. So if that's the case, when the car's back here and your dog gets your reward, as the car's starting to come this way, you and your dog are going to add more distance. And you can still reward along that way. It's about trying to keep your dog in that safe zone where he can be successful. If he wants to chase cars and he's overstimulated by them, every car that he sees, he's going to get a reward. Even if that car's way down there, if he sees it, he's going to get a reward. I'm playing Pavlov. I want my dog car, reward. Car, reward. No matter where that car is, car, reward, car, reward, car, reward. Because that's how I'm going to get my dog to eventually go, oh, what's the big deal? But only when I'm really consistent. If I'm going, we've seen 10 cars and he gets rewarded 2 or 3 times, this is not the time to be varied with your rewards. This is not that time, because we want to make that condition. We want to hit it home that cars equal this. If your dog reacts and he starts to lunge towards it or bark or get overexcited, whatever that may be, don't fret about it and don't yell at your dog. Instead, move away. So many times people get stuck. You know, their dog's reacting and the person's just stuck there. Move, 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 move. Move away, move away, move away. And you want to keep moving away until you can get into that comfort spot with your dog. And then you can reward your dog. And then get him to settle down. That's a good job. Aren't you so handsome? Don't fret over the oops moments. They're going to happen. The goal is to reduce our oops moments and get better good moments and training moments. Because if your oops moments overtakes all those good training moments that you're working with, you won't get very far and you won't get that success that you're looking for. So you can go to locations where you know that there's going to be a car that passes multiple times a day, multiple times but not too fast, and just start rewarding your dog. A little quiet residential park can be a great location to start, because then you can also kind of go deep into that park where there's no cars and let them sniff around, take a break, do some other things, because you don't want to be out there car, treat, 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 treat for a real long time, because your dog's going to just get too much. You know, he's going to need that break. Even though you're staying below his threshold where he's still comfortable and happy, you know, again, that's your goal, it still can be a lot, and we can overstimulate them by just having a lot of this repetition over and over. So we want to make sure we're taking those breaks. If you have cars that go by your house and your window, that's another good time for a training lesson. You can go through the steps at your window. So you and your dog are sitting at your window. You see the car coming down the street. Yes, treat. Move into the living room, do something else. We can go back to the window and do another training session. If you have a dog who's doing a lot of barking at the window, I'll drop a link below about barking at the window. So make sure you take a peek at that. It talks a little bit about management opportunities too, so that they're not doing that when you're gone. And with practice, time, patience, lots of fun rewards, you'll be able to help your dog overcome his over-arousal around cars. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to dive deeper into your dog's behavior, training, and care, you can check out my private Patreon page. The link is below. And until next time, remember to pause and enjoy life. And we'll see you in the next video.
Let me tell you a story about the baddest dog that ever was. Sneaking food from the fridge, tearing up the garbage. He's a goofy old Dexter the dog. He's a bad Dexter the dog. The baddest pup that there ever